grew up in the Southwest. I have a great love for the outdoors. I spend a lot of time outside, and I love wandering around. I love seeing what's around the next bend. I bought a Jeep Wrangler because they embody the outdoor active spirit, that get out there and explore attitude, and they are just plain cool. I did what might be considered a mid-level build. I was hooked on off-roading, hooked on getting to places few others get to experience, hooked on challenging myself in new ways, and my Jeep was the portal. Hi guys, this is Steven from Expedition Builds. We were out running the Trivecta yesterday, last couple of days. I landed pretty hard on some of the bigger obstacles. I'm not sure if I have something wrong with the front end. I figured I'd come stop by Dixie 4-wheel drive, have the guys check it out, make sure we're ready for that long drive back to Chicago. I just want to make sure everything is safe and it's correct. So, hey, while we're at the shop, let's go meet the owner, Bryce Thompson.
My name is Bryce Thompson, and I'm owner-operator of Moab, Utah store, and this is our story.
Meeting Bryce was like meeting an old friend. The shop is friendly and honest. You realize very quickly that the crew at Dixie 4-wheel drive are experts in the off-road world. Bryce's passion for all things off-road is contagious. While at Dixie's new Moab store, I had a chance to sit down with Bryce and talk Jeeping. So you were about a 10-minute drive out of Moab. Not really in the heart of town, but you look like you're real close to the trails. So tell me why you located the shop here.
Well, if you notice, one, Moab's kind of outgrown itself. If you've been to Moab before, you know that everything's growing outward. We're in Spanish Valley, so we're about 10 minutes south of town. That's going to be the middle of Moab over the long-term growth of Moab.
I see.
So that way, long-term, more houses, stuff will be south of us. Puts us right in the middle, and really 10 minutes is a minimal drive in a Jeep. There's no such thing as a stupid question. The stupid question is the one that you don't ask. So we're not just a repair shop, we're an information shop for all things off-road, whether it be your next build or where to go grab dinner while you're in town.
Nice. This is like walking into visiting one of your best friends. I just met Bryce a few minutes ago. It feels like I've known him for a while. He's super friendly. The shop is super friendly. They'll answer any question you have. That felt good as a Jeeper. I'm relatively new to this sport. This is my third trip to Moab. Each time I come out, we run more difficult trails. I learn a little bit more, but I feel like, you know, this can be a little intimidating to walk into a shop of this scale. And you know, I see $100,000+ build sitting right behind me here, and I don't want to act like a fool, right? But to your point, there are no dumb questions, and this shop feels like that. I can come in here and ask you anything.
Well, the biggest thing that is we live the same thing you did. I started how you did. I went out on the most basic trails and found more advanced, got deeper in.
Yeah.
You know, I'm young, but I was born and raised in it. So the advantage I have is I've seen a little bit of everything, and now I want to go out on the trail like you want to. I'm a part of the community as much as any other Jeeper, and that's what makes Moab so incredible. Is you meet the true enthusiasts of off-road.
It's a good
We're
point.
meeting and like-minded people. How do you not get along?
Yeah, that's the thing. And you know, the Jeepers, the community itself of Jeeping is just that. I haven't been involved in anything that's been so friendly and so open and so accessible as, you know, you take your basic Jeep wave.
Yep.
That kind of sums up how this is as community. You know, we're friendly, we look out for each other. There's always support, which is cool. And that's the way this shop. I had thought we were out there, it was late in the year, we're out there by ourselves. If I broke down, could you guys come and get me for repairs?
So one thing is, obviously the best repairs are going to be in our shop, right? That's where all the equipment is.
Sure.
The key is, by the time you get a hold of us, one, we have an after hours number. You just call our normal number, hit 2 for Moab, and it'll ring to whoever's cell phone's here or on call that weekend.
Great.
We're Jeepers. We're not going to leave anyone out there alone that shouldn't be.
Nice. That feels good. I mean, when I built my rig, I was trying to plan for, be prepared as you can, right? The old Boy Scout model.
Yep.
But, we're out there facing waterfall on Gold Bar Rim, and I'm thinking, man, what if, right? So that's great.
And that what if, it's not if, it's when.
That's really true.
You're in
when.
Moab. It's when. And how bad is it?
And that's the thing about Moab, right? As Jeepers, that's what we do. We come out here to kind of test ourselves, test our rigs against this environment. And naturally, to your point, you're going to break down at some point. You're going to have a repair. You're going to have something fail you. It's nice to know that there's a shop like this now located right here in Moab.
Totally. And that's why we came here. We saw the Moab already has everything. It already has the trail systems. It has the notary of one of the meccas of off-road, and we wanted to be a part of it.
Tell me about the difference between the two shops, the one in St. George and the new location. By the way, when did you open this store?
So we opened this store in March of 2018.
Okay.
We've been in St. George since 1994. St. George is our background. A lot of people, that's where they really know us for. So Utah, we're very well known, and we do work for people all over the country before opening this store.
Wow.
Moab, there was a void there in Moab, and someone needed to fill it, and I think we're going to be able to do a good job there.
Nice. Are you guys set up for hosting events?
So the facility is nice. The showroom's big.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is there's not a lot of meeting places in Moab, as you know.
Yeah.
We wanted it to be a go-to destination for anything in Moab. Yeah. So the big thing is with our shop too is we might have the big bad Jeeps, but that's just to educate people on what's out there, because there's a lot out there, and we're willing to do whatever you want. The biggest thing we focus on is the 3 E's: educate, excite, excitement, and execution. Those are our 3 E's, right? If I can keep you excited, and I educate you, and we execute it, how do we go wrong?
It can't get better than that. Yeah. So, talking about builds and all the choices we face as Jeepers, right? I mean, that's a daunting task. You want to build a Jeep. There are hundreds and hundreds of decisions we have to make.
Just in suspension alone.
And alone, right? The basic things. I want to lift a Jeep, okay? So what's your philosophy on lifting a Jeep? What's the first thing you say if I come in and say, hey, I just bought a new JL, I want to lift it? What do you say to me?
The first thing I ask is what you do with it. If I know what you're doing with it, I'll then be able to educate you about, well, this size lift allows this size of tire.
Yeah.
Pros and cons of,
making
you do a bigger
choices.
Tire, now you need gears. And then I try to ask you where your end goal is. Because once we know your end goal, it's much easier to execute the actual build itself the first go around.
Yeah.
And then the customer's happier with the shop. If you ask a guy all the time, how much into your Jeep, and he'll laugh and go 50 grand, and you look at it like, how is he 50 grand? Well, the other 20's in his garage because he put it on, took it off, put it on again.
Yeah, good point.
Went from 33s to 35s to 37s.
Yeah, we all graduate, right?
I own 5 Jeeps right now, so it's the way it works.
Nice. So talking about, before I ask you about your personal Jeep, so with this bad boy behind us, do you do any custom jobs right here in-house in Moab?
Yeah, we actually have a Jeep, you can't really see it right here, a full build getting ready to come in. We got parts on order. It's a customer from New Mexico. He said the same thing you did. He walked in, he knew he was at the right place. He could tell by the Jeeps we were working on and what we were doing.
Yeah.
We had a few good conversations back and forth, and after talking about what he wanted, he pulled the trigger, and we're doing a full build, 1-ton axles, 40s, steering, body armor, a whole build.
That's awesome, and to be able to do that right here in Moab is pretty impressive. I mean,
Well, the best part is we gotta take it out since we're done.
you get to hit the trails in a couple miles.
Yep. Go rattle it out, make sure it's good, and then go with them on the trail, and that's the
Fantastic.
closing of it.
The
And then we
shakedown.
check it one more time before they head home.
Perfect. That sounds awesome. Tell me about your personal Jeep. What are you driving now?
So my favorite, I have a 2014 Jeep Wrangler, and it's got a Corvette LS3 500 horse engine in it.
Nice.
We have our own suspension we call an ultimate suspension kit.
Yeah.
It allows you to put coilovers and bypasses on all 4 corners, triangulates the rear end so that you get better functionality out of the suspension. You have to modify the frame, and you got to move the fuel tank, but it's a real pleasure to
the
drive.
ultimate Jeep on trails.
It's my personal.
Is it your daily driver?
It's my first new car I bought, and yes, it's my daily driver.
So that's pretty impressive that it can handle the trails the way it does.
Well,
And
we put all the right things there. We did big axles, we did big tires, we did good sliders, aftermarket fenders for high clearance, lights. We can go out, winches.
Yeah.
You know, we have all the things to go and hit and drive
Nice.
home from the trail too.
That's my personal build ethos is to be able to drive it to the trail, drive it home. I think that's really important.
I think that's what separates a Jeep from almost all other vehicles. You know, other vehicles, yeah, they can be better handling on the road,
Yeah.
but they can't go where
They
a
can't
Jeep
do
can
this,
go, or
yeah.
there's not as much out there to fit what your build fits for
point.
you. But we all have the same thing at the end of the day. Our biggest thing is you could have all the right products, but if they're not installed correctly, it doesn't work right.
It doesn't work right.
You could have not a lot of products installed correctly, and it's going to do the right job. So
Yeah.
making sure the right thing is the right Jeep or the right vehicle is built
that
around
person,
for what
you do.
your expectation is.
And that's it. That's a really good point. The owning a Jeep is the lifestyle choice. I mean, and I think that's the questions you want to ask shop. What do you want to do? We can get you there. We can.
And what's your
build it right
expectation?
for you.
But what's your budget? That's another
Yeah.
question I ask all the
Yeah,
time.
good
Some people
point.
say, "Hey, my budget's 10 grand." Well, 10 grand's only going to get you here.
We'll get there. Yeah.
Next thing I know, well, my budget's 30 grand. And some don't have a budget because they don't know.
Yeah,
and that
they
becomes
don't
the
know.
education. Well,
That's
what are
the
you trying to
education.
achieve? And that's the key.
Nice.